What is the conflict between Colombia and FARC? Imagine a country torn apart by decades of violence and political strife. This is the story of Colombia and the FARC, a conflict that has lasted for over 50 years. It all began in the 1960s, when the Colombian government started cracking down on communist groups in rural areas. In 1964, after a military attack on the community of Marquetalia, a group of 48 fighters, led by Manuel Maruelanda Velez, escaped into the mountains and formed the core of what would become the FARC, or the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia. The FARC is a Marxist guerrilla organization that aims to redistribute wealth from the rich to the poor and opposes the influence of multinational corporations and foreign governments, especially the United States. Over the years, the FARC grew into one of the largest and most organized guerrilla movements in Latin America, with thousands of fighters and supporters, mostly from rural areas. The conflict escalated in the 1980s when the FARC began to expand its operations, moving closer to cities and areas rich in natural resources. They also started sending fighters to countries like Vietnam and the Soviet Union for advanced military training. This period saw significant clashes between the FARC and the Colombian military, with the FARC employing tactics that included terrorism and kidnappings. In the 1990s and early 2000s, negotiations between the FARC and the Colombian government were on and off. In 1998, President Andrés Pastrana demilitarized a large area in southern Colombia to encourage peace talks, but the FARC soon withdrew from these negotiations. Later, under President Álvaro Uribe Vélez, the government launched intensive military operations against the FARC, reducing their strength in urban areas. Despite these efforts, the FARC continued to launch deadly attacks. In 2012, new peace negotiations began, and by 2016, a ceasefire accord was signed between the FARC and President Juan Manuel Santos. However, a national referendum to approve the peace deal failed, leading to a revised deal that was eventually approved by the Colombian Congress. On June 27, 2017, the FARC officially disarmed and handed over its weapons to the United Nations, marking a significant step towards peace. However, some FARC dissidents continued with their original doctrine, engaging in drug trafficking and other illegal activities. The conflict has had devastating consequences, with over 220,000 people killed between 1958 and 2012, most of whom were civilians. The war has also led to massive displacement, with millions of people forced to leave their homes. Today, while the main body of the FARC has transitioned into a legal political party, the legacy of the conflict continues to shape Colombia's society and politics. Understanding this complex and tumultuous history is key to grasping the ongoing challenges and hopes for peace in Colombia.